Hi guys, a lady here. Right, today I'm doing a long slow cook. It is going to be, we went to Morrison's a couple of weeks ago and they had the pork on offer. So what I'm going to be making today is a porchetta. All we're going to have that in is with some buns and maybe some applesauce with it as well. But I'll bring you down and I'll show you the ingredients that we've got. Right, so here's the pork that we got in Morrison's the other week. This was £6.49, I think it was, for that big joint. So I also want a few peppercorns. I think I've got about 7 there. I need a small chilli. This is just off the chilli plant that we've got on the windowsill. As you can see, it's just a small one. This basil needed using up, so I'm going to use that. I need the zest of a lemon. A few sage leaves, which I've had dry in there anyway, so I'm just going to use them. A couple of tablespoons of olive oil, 4 cloves of garlic. I'm going to use the full packet of parsley. I've got some thyme, which is starting to look very ropey out the garden, and some rosemary. And we also want about a teaspoon of fennel seeds and about half a teaspoon of onion granules. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put the fennel seeds and the peppercorns into a frying pan and just dry fry them just to bring out the flavours. Right, so I've just dry fried those just until you can start smelling them. I'm just going to move this across there just so I can take them out. Get that put out of the way. And then in here now, I'm going to put about a half a teaspoon of onion granules in there. Put the garlic in and we'll give it a bash. Oh, it smells lovely. Oh, fennel seeds, you can really smell them. Right, so now I'm going to do the zest of the lemon. I think it's really bringing the scent up, you know, the hot spices in there when the lemon zest hits it. That'll do for that. Now I want the rosemary just broken in there. You can use any ones that you want. Excuse me, any herbs or anything that you want. Just these harder ones, I want to make sure that get them pounded down. Right, well that's a bit noisy, I'm just going to continue with that. Right, so I'm just going to chop this parsley up. Doesn't have to be too small, it is going in there to be pounded as well. We'll put everything into that. I'm just gonna, some of the little stalks I've left in there, some of the big thick stalks I've taken out. Right. Now I'm going to do the basil. You see that needs using up. It's been on the windowsill for a couple of weeks now and it's starting to look a little bit, even though I keep watering it. I mean, it hasn't done too bad. I think it's done about 5 or 6 meals. So just keeps coming back. I think it's actually done now. A few bits of sage. Now the sage is very strong, especially when it's dried like this. So I'm only going to use 3 leaves of that. And then I'm just going to take my tiny chilli and just cut that in half. And again, and I'm just going to get it all put into here. I'm going to put some thyme in first. Strip it off it like that. Now I've set my oven, because this is going to be a long slow cook, but to get the crackling started I like to have it on full for the first 20 to 30 minutes. Just keep it, have a look at it after 20, and then turn it right down to about 140, 150 and let it cook for a good couple of hours. So I think that's about enough time on there. Pop the chilli in. If you've got a little blender, that would be perfect for this vine, I must admit. I'm going to put some olive oil in.
What happened to that little one we used to have? We used to have a little one, didn't we?
Yeah, I don't know. Now I'm going to introduce these ones in. Now I've seen some recipes that do put dried fruit in, nuts, anything like that. Right, gather all this up. Get it put in there. So making a lovely paste, look. Right, so I'm going to clean down and we'll deal with the pork. Right, so here's my pork. Now, I was hoping, this has been out of the freezer since Friday night, defrosted fully in the fridge overnight. Then I've taken it all out of its packaging, patted it dry and left it at room temperature for a couple of hours. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take these off. I was hoping that they were going to be the elastic ones, you know, that you sometimes get on meat, so then I could have reused them, but that wasn't to be. So we'll get rid of that. In fact, I'm going to put it straight on. This is my meat board. The first thing I'm going to do is to take the skin off, which is nearly off anyway. Doesn't matter if there's a little bit on there. I think I might have to wash and resharpen my knife. So I'm just going to put that over there for now. Now, when you get these from the supermarket, I mean, I don't even know how they can say that that's scored. So what I've got is, got like a little craft knife here, which I normally use this for scouring bread, the sourdough. And I'm just going to put some proper score marks in here. That's better. Put a couple this way. Put that back in so you don't get caught with it. Put that over there and we'll deal with this. I'm just going to wash my knife and give it a sharpen before I start this one. Right, so I've sharpened my knife. Now, it would be good to go this way, however, I want a bit extra surface area, so I'm actually going to cut it this way. And then go down a little bit, as if you're going to flatten it out. down and then around. Watch your fingers while you're doing this. Like I say, this is normally done with a belly of pork, but you know, if you're going to save yourself some money, you can always do it this way. Right, so it's in lots of different ways. Which way? That's it. Now which way am I going to get rid of that big thing of fat there? And I think I'll roll it this way when I roll it back up. Right, so we'll get all of our herbs and everything here, and I'm just going to use my hands, just pop them all in here. Big bit of chilli there. See if I can remember where that one was and give it a Ian. Right, I'm just going to wash my hands and then we'll roll it up. Right, so I've decided I'm going to roll it this way. I think it's going to work out better. And then just roll it up like so. You've got all them lovely herbs and spices and everything in the middle of it. Now I've got some this already cut, so I'm just going to put that under, just so I didn't have to mess with the roll of it once I had the pork juices on my hands. So I'm just going to put them all underneath. Move that one over a little bit. That one, that one. And that one. Right. And then I'm going to put the crackling bit back on, and then we're just going to tie it up. Doesn't have to be too tight, this one. Right, last one. Get them bits off. Grab the scissors. And then there is a little bit of oil and everything left in the bottom of there, so that's going to go on. Make sure it gets in all of them. And then a bit of salt. Don't worry, I'll wash this before I put it back. Get that salt in all them bits as well. Right. Now I have my tin here already, and that's just going to go into there. Like I say, that's going to go in on the highest setting for about 20 to 30 minutes. And then I'm going to turn it down and cook it for about 2.5 hours more. So I'll come back once that's done. Right, so that I had the half an hour initial blast. Then it's been in for 2.5 hours since then. And it's nicely cooked. We've got some lovely crackling there. Obviously this will need to rest for quite a while. As you can see, it's still bubbling. So we'll bring you back once it's had a good rest. Right, so I'm getting rid of most of the fat. In fact, I haven't gotten rid of it. I'm going to start doing what my nana did. She always had a pot at the side of her cooker with the leftover fat in it to reuse. And I think that stopped happening when you start getting a lot of water in your pumped into your meat. But I want to start doing that again because that was just fat. So I'm just warming this up just a little bit. So I thought, oh, a little bit of gravy to dunk in as well would be really nice. So I'm just going to let that melt down. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put in about a heaped dessert spoon of flour. There's just a tiny bit more into the fat that's left over. And all flavours and everything from the pork. You have the flavour from the herbs, the garlic, everything in there as well. Let that up. And I've got 500 mils of chicken stock. Don't have any pork stock, unfortunately. Right. Just gonna add that in. It doesn't look much at the moment. I guarantee it'll look a lot better towards the end. I'm just gonna pour. That's about half. That's probably about 250 mils. Have the little whisk that I used to do the stock in. Do you know what? I'm not even bothered about these little bits. It's just all of the juices out of the pork. Oh. Wish you could smell it. It does smell absolutely incredible. I'll turn it up slightly. I just want to see how thick it gets. If I need to put more stock in, I will. But all them bits are starting to melt into it now. A little bit more stock maybe. Well, I do like thickish gravy, but if it's just for a dip. Right, and I'm just going to let that simmer probably for about 5 minutes and then I'll come back. Right, so here is my pork, all lovely and rested. It's still really pretty hot. Like I say, we're just going to have it in sandwiches. I think what I might do is get a pair of scissors. So it wouldn't be the first time I've given Ian some string, yeah. Right, and I'm just going to break bits of this off, which will also go into the sandwich. And then I'm going to cut through. You can see all the herbs, you can smell them. That literally falling apart. Look at that. Couldn't be any better cooked. Right. So I'm going to make up a quick sandwich. Got me applesauce. I'm just going to make Ian's up for now. And I'll have mine in a little bit.
Excuse me.
Got a tickle there, mister?
Yeah.
A generous dollop of the applesauce. I used the Bramley apple that I had the other day. I should have thought about getting a one for that one and using the Bramley apple to make my own applesauce, because there's nothing nicer than your own homemade applesauce, but you know, the jarred stuff's alright as well. Just going to get a few bits of the pork. Don't want to put it on the lid for. Sometimes you don't really want, I mean, that's what we're talking about this morning. Sometimes you don't really want a huge meal. And there's nothing, I mean, sometimes on a Sunday, if we're not making a video, we'll just buy your chicken and have chicken sandwiches. Right. Break that up a little bit more. You can see how soft it is, and it's still really warm. A couple of bits of crackling on there. So you'll have to watch his teeth while he's biting into these. Right, I'm just going to quickly wash my hands. It's hot. Right, I'm just going to get the gravy and then we'll finish off the sandwich. Right, I'm just going to strain this gravy into the bowl. That's got some lumpy bits in still. Oh. Actually, do you know what? Why don't I just do that? And then you can dip. Let's put some more in. I should have used a bigger sieve. But there we go. So I'm just going to take a shot of this and then Ian can have a taste. And there you have it. Porchetta sandwich with applesauce and gravy. And Ian's picking at the pork.
Right, I've been dying to try this. I've been picking at the pork already. I love a pork sandwich. Porchetta is just something special with the crackling and everything in it.
What's your
Come
teeth?
On. I'll be fine. Don't worry about my teeth. Look at that. Oh no, it is.
You've got a bit of crackling there, I could hear the crunch.
Crackling, the pork's nicely cooked. Applesauce. Wow, that is amazing.
Yeah, I can hear it.
That's a sandwich, it's hard to beat that. Also got a bit of gravy, we've got a bit of gravy in there. I'm just going to dip a little bit. Make it even naughtier. Man.
For a £6.49 piece of pork, we've got 2 sandwiches out of it. There's more than enough for another one, and I'd say again and again.
I can eat about 12 of them.
There is a sandwich shop round by where we are, and they do pork sandwiches, the same as that with applesauce. They do have stuffing on them, but they're £4.50 each for the same size bun.
Wow, sorry, I had another mouthful while he was talking there.
It's alright.
Sorry, I'm trying to rush and swallow that. Definitely give that one a go. That is absolutely unbelievable. I mean, you can see the cross section of it. You see that?
It's not the prettiest thing.
No, but that is so tasty. That is so tasty. All of the herbs and everything in there. What? Banging. You can see why the Italians like it so much.
Exactly.
Wow. Right, anyway, enough waffling. Thanks very much for watching, as always. Thank you for all your lovely comments. and all your lovely recipe ideas, keep them coming, as always. And if you haven't subscribed already, please consider doing so. I can't stop munching this. Bit of applesauce. So we'll leave that one there for now, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.
Thanks very much for watching.
Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.